Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharaka Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel, who will and teach well, to the Akims and the highways and byways, and those pushing this word in truth, sincerity, and to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, I just want to touch a quick food for thought, or quick look at edification, Yahweh Ratazar, Lord willing, on pride. So when we look up this definition, it says a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. But the point I want out of this definition, it says a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction, a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. And we know we're meant to give, we say, give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, in the name Yahweh Shai. And when pride steps in, it's taking that glory away from Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. And this is something we have to be mindful of. Because in this truth, you realize that, when the scripture says knowledge puffeth up, it really does do that. And these brothers here, I'm not saying that I've got more knowledge than these brothers. They've got more knowledge than me. But what I do realize is that these brothers are exuding a lot of pride. Now, there was a video that was put up today. Today's the 10th of November, 2025. And it says Joel, Sons of Thunder versus Priest Akkar and Assad. And the topic was to do with food sacrificed to idols. Genesis, Deacon Akkar and Brother Assad, they were of the understanding that you can't eat these foods. And Brother Joel and I think his brother Asha Allah was of the understanding that you can eat these foods, not in the sense that you're eating it with the understanding that it's sacrificed to idols, but the food is clean according to the law. But you wouldn't eat it in front of someone who still put these idols as something. And we know when we read Paul's scriptures in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 up to chapter 10, dealing with food sacrificed to idols, he lets you know that the idols are nothing. But for those who see the idols as something, you wouldn't eat these foods that they say has been sacrificed to idols in front of them, because now you're making them believe that you can eat this food sacrificed to idols. But the key thing is that you're giving the understanding that the idol is something. And these brothers, as much as they're beautiful brothers with great knowledge, sometimes there is a high level of pride that I see. I could be wrong in this, but this is what I see, and this is why I'm making this lesson, because it's not just me that have said it. Other brothers that I know have said that these brothers are exuding pride. No, the elder Deacon Akkar, when he was with Sakari, for me, even then, he had a level of pride. Brother Assad was very humble. And this is why we also say that you have to be mindful who you're around, because spirits jump. From Assad, Brother Assad has been with Deacon, I've seen that level of pride increase in Brother Assad. And the sit down, if you was able to watch this video, the reason why I'm doing this as well, because I watched about an hour of this video. I think it was 2 hours and mash, probably 2.5 hours. I watched an hour, and I think Sons of Thunder, they put their point over really well. But Deacon and Assad, they've got this persona which I see as they always want to win a point. They can't really say, well, yeah, I was probably wrong in that point. Let me learn, gain some understanding. It's always a case of wanting to win a point. And now this video has been taken down, because when I was reading a lot of the comments for me were in favor of Sons of Thunder and how they gave their argument and um, conducted themselves. One brother even mentioned about they want to win the point. It's not really for education, it's more edification, it's more for wanting to win the point and seem to be right, which I agree with. So we have to be mindful, especially those of us who have a certain wisdom, those of us who are meant to be teachers. Knowledge does actually puff you up, man. This is something I have seen, and it's something that I myself try to be mindful of, that I'm not, there's times when I'm talking to people and they do bring you to a certain point where you just try to shut them down. But that's because of how the situation have gone. They're being very contentious. But this is meant to be a discussion, a debate, however you want to put it. And even though to some extent you may see it as being kind of cordial, there's that level of pride which I found came across from the deacon and brother Assad. And we have to be mindful of that pride which is in us, man. Now, if you try and go, the video was called Joel Sons of Thunder versus Priest Akar and Assad. This video is no longer available. Hold on, let me see. Watch this. It says this video has been removed by the uploader. Now, there was nothing in the video that would require you to remove it. So I can only assume, and it's an assumption, that it was because of the comments. A lot of the comments was for Sons of Thunder and how they presented their argument to discussion of food sacrifice to idols, because there was nothing in it for it to be removed. And this is why I say pride is very dangerous, man. So I've done a lot of talking, too much talking. So I want to bring this out. Salakia. This is Sirach 10 and 7 says, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Now, I'm not saying these brothers committed any form of sin, but to me, if you was able to see the video which is taken down, and I hope Sons of Thunder actually have a copy of that video themselves and post it. But for me, the brothers did come across very prideful, and there was if there was nothing in the video, why was it taken down? I can only assume, and it's an assumption. You know what they say about if you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. But there was nothing that I had saw in the hour that I watched it for it to have been taken down, other than the fact that the comments that I read was more in the favor of Sons of Thunder. And I've seen the two brothers, brother Deacon Assad, Elder Deacon Assad, and brother Assad debate with others, and it just seems to be a case of wanting to win a point, and I posted a comment on that video. My comment was to the effect of, and I did a lesson on this as well, a L is not always a loss, it could be a lesson. And my comment was to the effect of, they were very disingenuous in how they were dealing with this debate. And sometimes, a L is not a loss, it is a lesson or a learning. And because they weren't willing to, no, because they wanted to win the arguments or the points they were putting across, they could have lost the understanding of a lesson or lost the ability to learn something from the points that Sons of Thunder was putting across. And this is what we, brothers who are teachers, we have to be mindful. Well, us in general, the knowledge that the Lord has given us is great knowledge. It's great wisdom compared to the wisdom of the world. It's great wisdom that the Lord has imparted to us. Whether we are teachers or, for want of a better word, a regular brother and sister in the truth, just learning and studying and trying to walk a righteous life. The wisdom that we have been given surpasses that of the world, and we have to be mindful that we are not prideful with it. So it says, Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. And like I said, I'm not saying these brothers committed any sin, but the pride that they exuded, the scripture says it's hateful before the Most High and man. And we know Proverbs 16 and 18 says, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before fall. So we need to be, it says, better is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. And with the Sons of Thunder, I don't agree with everything that they teach, but one thing I will give those brothers, they have a very humble spirit. To me anyway, they have a humble spirit, and they're very brotherly. They show a lot of brotherly love. So even if you don't agree with them, they can live with that. They'll still exude a humble spirit amongst them. And, we just have to learn to be more humble in spirit. It's not always about trying to win a point or win an argument. Like when we come into this truth, no one had to bash us over the head. The arguments was put in front of us, and we accepted it. The spirit resonated with our spirit. And so when we're having a discourse with fellow brothers, etc., you shouldn't have to be trying to win the argument or win the point. You have, just put your argument over and let that do its course. This is Salakia. Because there's a lot about pride in Proverbs. Where's the Salakia? Prude. Meant to be pride, Salakia. Yeah. Proverbs 8 and 13, it says, the fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. And with pride comes a level of arrogancy, and these are things which is hateful to the Most High, and we should hate it as well. As brothers that teach, we're there to edify the body, not to try and make ourselves look good, to exalt ourselves. Oh, we have this great wisdom, we have this great knowledge, I'm no more than the next man. No, you work with the portion that the Lord has given you, and that is to edify the body. And this is what we have to remember. It's not to make ourselves look good. It's to glorify Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's the whole purpose of us, doing what we do to glorify Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. So we have to be mindful of the pride that we're exuding. One more, then I'll close out. Salakia. This is Proverbs. I think I read that already. Yeah, Proverbs 29 and 23. It says, a man's pride shall bring him low, because the Most High will bring you down because of your pride. This is what we have to bear in mind. It says, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. So we have to learn to show more humility in our walk, man. A L is not always a loss. A L can be a learning point or a lesson. Let's bear that in mind, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wahat, Rakah, Kadash, Kwame Sha'ala.